Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. And oh, wait, I'm getting a feedback here. Wow, that was very interesting. Well, that's because I have this here. What an idiot I am. Sometimes I'm a complete moron. I had a second instance of the show up. Duh. How is everybody? Yeah, thank you, Tony. That's great that he left a message to remind me about this because that's how I do want to start the program off. Thank you to Tony the Calf. Uh, and it's a good thing you did because I'm going senile. I mean, yeah, look at this. This is not the youthful face that it used to be. And it's not just the face. uh, and I'll get to that in just a moment, too. Uh, talking about I don't know this guy. All right. We did have a little back and forth, just a tiny bit on social media, and we were kind of laughing at one another. But he's a radio guy, and I don't want to, I want to have him on the program, but I know that he is bequeathed to another, and that would not be a proper thing for him to do. That's not the kind of publicity. That publicity is not something that he or his company that he's working for slash with would want to have happen. Let's talk first about Jake Paul because I am a boxing historian and I don't consider this really part of the history of boxing. I consider it more the history of the way the world has gone, the history of professional wrestling, not boxing. But and I'm not going to tell you that boxing is a clean sport. It never has been from Norris and the Mob back in the 50s, all the way, 40s and 50s, all the way up to the present with Suleiman and Bob Arum and Don King. It's been and it continues today. But what happened in that fight was very interesting to me because I see things differently when I'm watching a boxing match. So I was fortunate enough to be able to see it from stem to stern, from the beginning to the very end, and which is not always easy to do under certain circumstances without the screen freezing. Actually, it was on Netflix, so that was easy. And I do subscribe to Netflix, and I do that for my wife because she likes Netflix. If it were me, I would just steal it. So I was a legal viewer and I stayed up and I watched it. And it was only after about a minute that I realized what the whole thing was all about. And Jake Paul comes out, and I've watched Jake Paul fight in a number, if you want to call it that, in a number of his fights against 58-year-old men and various cripples, quasi celebrities, whatever he can get his hands on. I think Heather Locklear would be his next opponent. And he comes out and he is trying to emulate Bojangles Robinson. He is dancing all over the ring, anything but fight. He was running away from the opening bell. And I thought, and the way they're selling it on the channel on Netflix is, well, he's going to see what kind of shape that Anthony Joshua's in. And I'm looking at Anthony Joshua and saying, weight isn't his problem. Maybe reflexes are his problem, but not weight. And he's going around in a circle, but not like Ali would gracefully. He thump, thump, thump. And I mean, he just looked like a fool. And I thought to myself, so he's going to try to sucker the fighter in front of him so he can throw one big roundhouse right. And it's like, boy, it doesn't sound like a very likely strat. And then I stopped and I realized what was happening. Because after the fight, and I'm going to skip forward, A guy gets knocked down at the end of a fight. Why is he going like this? Because he's an idiot, maybe. Because he's happy? Fuck yes, he's happy. He got his jaw broken. He didn't even try to do anything for the first 5 rounds of the fight. And then he came out and started throwing whatever he had to say, oh, I really gave it a shot. I really gave it a shot. And then he got his jaw broken and got knocked out. You see, before this thing ever happened, I realized where the betting money was going. And the betting money was going on Jake Paul. And it's like, Jake Paul can't win this fight. I told you that on Friday. He can't win this fight. He's not skilled enough. And I don't care how much Anthony Joshua slowed down. He doesn't have any of the technique or anything. It's like a guy from a tough man contest going into the ring with a professional fighter. And he's happy as a lark after getting his jaw broken in 2 places. All the money was put on, the vast amount of money. And I saw people on Reddit and all over saying, well, we bet on him, but he just didn't have it. And it's like, you can't be that stupid. This guy is not a fighter. Jake Paul is a grifter. Don't you understand? I mean, do you understand anything that you're fucking seeing on the internet cannot be believed? Do you understand that yet? He's an internet influencer. He influenced people to gamble money and put the money on him. Oh, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And weak-willed people believe this brain-addled idiot Jake Paul? They believe him? Yeah. He convinced me. I'm going to put money on this one. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. Nothing happening at all. Anthony Joshua had a backroom deal with the grifter Jake Paul, who's associated, I'm sure, with mobsters. Okay? If you watch the fight, if you didn't get this out of the fight, then you're an idiot and I cannot save you from yourselves. But for God's sakes, the deal went like this. I'll carry you until the end of the 5th round, and whatever happens in the last 3 rounds, that's what's going to happen. And Jake Paul goes, okay, I'm putting all my money in. All the money people are paying me. I'm a social influencer. I'm going to throw it all to a big pile. And I'm going to say that the fight's going to go longer than 5 rounds. You can't be that fucking stupid not to understand this. As soon as it passed 5 rounds, he went out like, hey, Mo, with his, it starts throwing wild punches. And of course, he looks like a fool and he gets knocked out. And he's happy. He's happy because he got the money. And that's what this is all about. Fuck Jake Paul. Fuck his WWE brother, his mother, his father, whoever contributed to the environment that turned this guy into the thief that he is. But you know something? You can't con an honest man. And for every person who put money on Jake Paul to win that fight, you got what you deserved, and I hope that you bet your house on it so you'll be homeless because you're stupid and nobody can protect you from your own stupidity. Good God. At least the punch that knocked him out was legit. And the thing that was so pathetic in the early carrying rounds was the notion, I mean, you saw Jake Paul trying to do half-assed takedowns. It's like, no, this is a boxing match. This isn't UFC. He kept diving for Joshua's legs and thighs. Maybe he was trying to blow him. I have no idea what the point of it all was, but I'm happy he lost. I'm only disappointed that he got up. Because now he's saying, I'm going to continue my career. What career? Grifting? Of course you are. You're a dishonest man. I got no use for people like that, man. No use at all. That's my little take on the Jake Paul fight. And if he wants to fight again, I hope the next motherfucker kills him. Says, you know something? Fuck your grifting. Fuck your prediction. Fuck your money. I'm going to kill you. Done. It's just pathetic. All right. So now let's carry on with the real reason that we're here to talk about the aftermath of the Cleveland Browns loss. I wanted to share a screen with you before I get into it to explain to you what is more disappointing to me than the outcome of the Browns game. 23-20, and at least it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, which was like 40-10. Although at halftime, it looked like I might be right. So here's what I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to add this up here, and here you go. This is the kind of thing that let me see if I can get this thing started. Here you go. Recognize it. It's the play that won the Steelers the game thanks to the league. This is the touchdown, not the second one, the first one, which was legitimate. And where the circle is here, and I'll blow it up if I can here. I'll blow it up. And there's the defender, and you're going to see what they're going to call an illegal screen on this play. And the Pittsburgh player either doesn't know where he's going or he doesn't even try to do anything because he knows the fix was in. All right. And let's see if we... Now, if that is a screen, there's two Steelers there and they ran into each other. For God's sakes, I'm going to slide it back again. There's no penalty on this play at all. None. I mean, and all he had to do was run, catch the ball, and he did. Touchdown. And then all of a sudden, hey, look, there's a flag on the field. I don't care about the Browns. It's like, well, I don't believe in the Browns. Well, I don't believe in the league, dude. I don't believe in it. Let's see if I can stop this nonsense. Get it the hell out of there. Really makes me ill. And it's always the Steelers. Steelers have a chance to go to the postseason. Can't miss this opportunity because we're betrothed to the Steelers organization. It happens every fucking year. From the Immaculate Reception on. Bullshit calls. Absolute bullshit calls. Now, the second play, I could see where that would be a push off and an offensive pass interference. He extended his arms, and you really can't do that in front of somebody. But it didn't matter. The game was over in the play before. The Lions won that game, not the Steelers. And they always come back and they try to explain things, and they only make themselves sound more stupid, is what it amounts to. And I'm going to shrink this back down. The reporting official on that play told me that the offending player picked one of the defenders, creating an opportunity for the offensive player to make the catch. Here's how the referees said the second play. And this is the convoluted thing that they're not even making these calls. They're being told what to do. We ruled it was a backward pass, so the recovering player was able to advance it, and that recovering player advanced it for a touchdown. Now, we'll do this like John Madden, because that's really, let's draw this up. We ruled that it was a backward pass. You can see the guy here, he stopped, looks like he stopped here, over here, and he still doesn't go down, and boom, he pitches the ball backwards, back to the quarterback, who dives over the end zone for a touchdown. So now we'll have the referee's explanation. We ruled it was a backward pass, so the recovering player was able to advance it, and that recovering player advanced it for a touchdown. We had to rule on that, but then, because of the offensive pass interference, wait a minute. If there's offensive pass interference, it doesn't count. Tough acting to acting. What? How can people even believe? How can people bet on this? It's as bad as the Jake Paul thing. How can you bet on this, for God's sakes? This is fixed, and it's not even well fixed. This explanation makes no sense. So in other words, first we had to rule on the backward pass. Now, let me explain about that. If his motion was stopped, his forward motion, in fact, he had been pushed backwards 5 fucking yards. You didn't need to do that. He never got into the end zone after he caught the ball. He was pushed backwards. That wouldn't have been a touchdown in any event. The game had already been fixed by taking the last play away from them. But the referees were like, there's more time left on the clock? Shit. We got to get this done or else we're not going to eat. So this is what they came up with, just to make sure that score wasn't going to take place. And if you don't see this, you're as dumb as the people who bet on Jake Paul. It's just that obvious. So we had to rule on the backward pass and the quarterback diving over into the end zone first. Because of the offensive pass interference, it negates the touchdown. Because it's an offensive foul, we do not extend the half. Therefore, there is no score and there's no replay. That's the way the rule's written. No, it's the way you made it up. I mean, fuck you. Honest to God, fuck you. It's so obvious that the referees aren't even, that's why they took away the whole thing and they have to hear everything through their headset. And the reason it took them so long, it's like, oh, you could hear the guy from the NFL. He's sweating his balls off going, hold on a minute, guys. Hold on. We got to come up with some kind of a quasi-believable story here. Let me think about this. Why won't you just say it's pass interference? The game can't end on a penalty unless it's the offense that causes it, so the game's over. Why? Why were they doing this? Because they weren't making the decision. The game was fixed. All right. God almighty. And that's the end of the season for the Lions. And I'm not saying the Lions deserve to win the way they played, to give up 29 points to a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who should have been, no, not even on Jeopardy. I wish he were in Jeopardy. No. They shouldn't even, they give up 29 points to the Steelers. You basically deserve to lose. So there's that. So here's the deal. I'll show you this and share this with you because this is kind of the way that I'm feeling right now. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see if this is correct. Here we go. We'll share this. Feast your eyes on this, my friends.
Hey, Mary Kay, I can barely see you.
Let's talk about the Browns, shall we? No. Let's get rid of this. Enough of that. The Browns weren't so terrible. All right. Do I think that Shedeur did enough to say, hey, you're going to be the quarterback next year? Nobody's doing enough to have anything. No. Nobody. So we have to be better. We have to be better. No. You know, they're not better and they're not going to be better. And Shedeur made his mistakes, but he's playing for a lousy team. He did some things well with his feet. He did some things well, you know. He ran the opening scripted plays well. Imagine being in a threesome with her. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Leviston was horrible. He's got the fastest first step of any offensive lineman. It's consistently before the play begins. I mean, and he was rated the lowest as far as efficiency. He was horrible. The offensive line actually started getting blocks done for the second and third string running backs, if that's any consolation for you. The Bills damn near let the Browns back into the game. There's that. But here's the thing that aggravates me the most. The Browns come out not ready to play, and they give up all those yards. And I mean, it was like 150 fucking yards in the first half on the running game. All right, just the running game by itself. And if you look at the stats of the game, you know, Josh Allen only threw for like 130 yards the whole game. And when the game came at the end of the first half and into the second half, the Browns suddenly stopped their running game. And I said to myself, that's why Schwartz can't be fired, because at least he made some kind of adjustments at the half that took away that running game. All right. If I'm going to defend one person in this, it would be Schwartz. Because he saw what was going on and he tried to change it. As for Kevin Stefanski, oh yeah, he draws up some great plays that are the first 18 plays or whatever that are in the scripted plays. But all teams have to do is adjust to that, and there's nothing. Come halftime, you know what it turned into?
I can't see anybody.
It turned into Dylan fucking Gabriel football. Throw 3 yards. Throw 3 yards down the field and we'll lose the game. Yep. Let's just turn it into the short passing game that Kevin loves so much. And we didn't make any real great strides doing it, except that the running game worked a little bit better and we had a little bit better balance, but never even tried a downfield play. Never even tried. And then people are criticizing, well, why were you going for it on 4th and 32? Because there was no time left and it was 4th and 32. Well, it was 4th and 32 because of Shedeur. I don't know what you're supposed to do if the other team finally realizes you have to throw away the whole short game concept and you have to make big plays down the field and you have no offensive line protecting the quarterback. You just run people like Rousseau in. They're untouched. Cam Robinson is picking his big nose and doing nothing, and he gets hit and sacked or rushed or dragged to the ground or whatever it might be. I'm not going to judge him in a situation where it's like, all right, now we're just going to have to open the playbook and try something desperate. I don't know. The coach doesn't adjust. He doesn't adjust to anything. And that is what it's about, losing. They're not trying to win. And they're going to hope that Shedeur gets blamed for it and that Kevin will survive this and that he'll be back and somehow another team will trade for Shedeur. That's what they're hoping for. The headline here: Shedeur Sanders makes strides towards showing the Browns he's their 26th quarterback despite the loss to the Bills. I pinky swear, Mary Kay Cabbagehead. Whore. Liar, whore, liar, whore. You know something? You already stated your case. We already know where you're at. You can't keep jumping over the line. Not even week by week, but day by day. You can't do that. To me, you got to have a football team before you have a quarterback. And why the focus is always on the quarterback? And I understand. If you're starved for something, you want it. And the Browns have been starved of a quality quarterback for such a long time. The fans want it. But if you had it right now, the guy would get injured. He wouldn't last. Why can't we have nice things? If I read another person saying that on X, I'm going to strangle the bastard. I mean, if you want nice things, get a life. Get a goddamn life. Marry a nice woman. Have a family with nice children. You want nice things? Work harder. Come up with a great idea that nobody else has thought of. Nice things don't come to billionaires who are only interested in building new stadiums, who have no efficiency or expertise in drafting players. None. No good things come of that. And you're not entitled as a fan to anything except to keep your money and not give it to Jimmy. That you're in control of. But beyond that, no, you're not in control of anything. You got to have a team before you have a quarterback. And even if Shedeur comes back and is the quarterback next year, or as far as that goes, if Dillon Gabriel is, if they don't have a team in front of them, they're going to get crushed just like they're getting crushed this year. They're going to get sacked. They're going to make mistakes and all that. I have no doubt that Shedeur Sanders is a better quarterback than Dillon Gabriel, but that's like saying meatloaf is better than dog shit. I don't know enough about Shedeur, but I know dog shit when I smell it and see it. So Shedeur Sanders has an arm, and he's showing the ability to buy himself a little more time by stepping up into the pocket, still holding on to the ball a little bit too long. I saw an interesting fact that made me really kind of open my eyes and see how shallow the criticism is and how thinly veiled the racist overtones are as far as Shedeur Sanders is concerned. People don't like, you may not like a black man to begin with, but a guy who comes from a flashy background with a flashy father and all that, you're going to dislike him even more. I get that, and I'm not going to be able to change you. You like to burn crosses on people's yards, whatever it is you like to do. I don't know. If you're watching the same games I'm watching, there's nothing sure about things, but he's done better than Dillon Gabriel, for God's sakes. I mean, that may not be enough in the great scheme of things. Maybe Shedeur will never make it at all in the NFL. There's a real possibility of that too. But let's just talk about when Josh Allen and Myles Garrett and all these really big name football players and Shedeur's on the field with them. And people immediately want to say, see, the Bills won because they had Josh Allen. Josh Allen this year averages holding on to the ball 3.01 seconds. It's too long. You're wondering why the Bills aren't that good? 3.01 seconds. They were smart against us, which everybody is, because our staff is so dumb. They came out and did nothing but short passes, and, quick reads and all of that stuff. And it's good enough to beat the Browns, who can't score enough points because they can't protect or block for anything. Okay. But when you come, people are saying, well, Shedeur in this latest game, he actually had his time down to throw. It's about 2.85, I believe, seconds. And Josh Allen was holding onto the ball longer. But Josh Allen has a football team around him, goddammit. Why can't people just take the simple road instead of just all this junk that comes out of their mouths and their minds? Why can't you just accept the reality that Buffalo has professional players on the front line and he can afford to hold on to the ball longer because he doesn't have three men hanging from him every time? Oh, he's bigger and stronger than Shedeur. Well, that won't last for long. Just ask Lamar Jackson. Overrated. He's hurt again. He hurt his back. The Ravens lost. So the league went into action. They already took care of it. Steelers are in. Steelers are in. Fuck the Ravens this year. Lamar Jackson is overrated. Of the quarterbacks, Josh Allen being one, he's the next one who holds onto the ball for the longest period of time. And you know what it gets you? Injured. That's what it gets you. I say the Browns have a better team on paper than the Bills. Josh Allen is just that guy. What guy? He didn't do anything spectacular in the game, and he holds on to the ball longer. If Josh Allen had to play for a really sub-mediocre team that didn't have an offensive line, he'd have been out of the league by now. He'd be injured. Done. Finished. The first line of attack is your offensive line and your defensive line. If you can't keep that freshly stocked with talent, you're not going to be a 500 or better football team. That's obvious. I will agree with you that the front office sucks. But you're not going to make it all up in one or two seasons. We had a pretty good draft this last season. And if we have another good draft this year, it will help. But it's not going to give you the quarterback you need because you're not going to have what you need. Even if you draft offensive linemen, those offensive linemen are going from college to the professional, and they need practice and work. It's why you need to have an offensive line coach who really knows how to teach. Teams that have an offensive line with veterans on them who know how to play, just like when Baker Mayfield was in Cleveland, we had those guys were vets, and they instituted the zone read into the offensive plan when Stefanski was hired. That made sense. But they didn't do anything to replenish the line as these guys got older and older and more hurt. You got to have an offensive line, but it may take time. And I compare it to power hitters in Major League Baseball. You take a look at the guys, there aren't many 21-year-old home run hitting phenoms in Major League Baseball. They got to work their way through the minor leagues, and they don't come up as big and strong and all that. And they got to learn the nuances. They got to shorten their swing. They got to get as much bat speed as they can. And power hitters, as a rule of thumb, start at about 27 years of age. Offensive linemen are very much the same way. When the Browns got Conklin and the other guys, they got Batonio through the draft, but the other guys lining up on the front line, we got them in trades. Wyatt Teller from Buffalo. You look at how old these guys were at the time. That was the time, about 27 years of age, 26, 27 years of age. And they had been in a kind of a stale system with the teams they were on, running a different scheme. And the scheme that the Browns were doing, it's like, and changing to, we're going to get these guys because they know how to run that scheme. And they became, in a couple of instances, all pro offensive linemen, basically from nowhere, from absolutely nowhere. But you have to have teachers, you have to have the right scheme for their talents. And let's bring the Moose in here as well. Hi, Moose.
Whoa.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. My cat just jumped, one of my cats just jumped on top of me about 5 minutes ago. And I looked at the clock and I go, oh, it's 37 past 10 o'clock. I think I think I've missed most of the program. So there you go.
And I agree with what Jason's saying. He may well be out of the league now, but yeah, you don't have the body, the strength to be able to just be battered like that. And so the first line of offense and defense is in the front line. And what bothers the hell out of me is people who want to compare Josh Allen and Shedeur Sanders, which is ridiculous to begin with.
Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, Shedeur actually had better stats yesterday.
Yeah,
but like, what's the point?
But here's the thing that I feel: there are quarterbacks who've been in the, I believe that Lamar Jackson has been in the league long enough for us to know what he is. All right, and he's overrated.
He's a 500 quarterback.
He's not the guy who everybody thought he was going to be. And because he didn't have the downfield throwing capability, and because their head coach and their offensive coordinators have been nonstop run first guys, he never developed that skill set. And then when the players start dropping down in caliber, he is nowhere to be found because he can't make the big plays anymore with his legs because he's crippled up because he's gotten hit too many times. And you have to have a front line. You got to have an offensive line. And the other thing is the defense of the Ravens are giving up more points this year than they have in, ages. So that same offense that is propelled by the legs of Lamar Jackson, it isn't good enough to make up the points that the defense is giving up. So the front lines of both the offense and the defense, that's where the smart thing and the smart money is, but it may take a couple of years to develop some of those talents. And we would like to think that guys like Schwesinger and Mason Graham are going to get better if we bring in a new staff with better teachers. All right. I'm hoping that they get better.
Yeah. I mean, my screwdriver analogy that I said yesterday applies to all those fuckers that said that the Ravens and the Bengals were playoff teams this year. I mean, Jesus, look at them. They are a sorry sack of shit.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of teams that have just really not amounted to what they should have been. And then you make an investment in the wrong quarterback like Tua, and you live to pay for it because he's not, and if you still think that Dillon Gabriel can make it as a professional, look at Tua. Yeah, and Tua is faster and more elusive than Dillon Gabriel is.
Yeah, save us from these left-handed Hawaiians. I mean,
well, at least Tua had some escapability at one time, but he got hit one too many times, and he's like he's like Anthony Quinn in the boxing version of Death of a Salesman. The Anthony Quinn role was the Rod Serling teleplay, actually the Hollywood movie. He was a boxer, and he was
Yeah.
punch drunk. That's what happens to
Aren't we
fighters.
all?
Fighters is what happens to football quarterbacks who are just beaten about, and
And it happens to Browns fans when you watch the fucking team for 60 years. Yeah.
yeah. And Tua had some good moments, but again, versatility in a team's offensive structure is what matters. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, if you find a way to stop and cover what they're doing, then that little guy is open to get hit, and the whole thing goes to hell in a handbasket. And that's what has happened. The Browns defense in this game, Alex Wright had the highest rating with a 69.2, Myles Garrett with a 63.8, then Isaiah McGuire, then Cameron Thomas, and Aiden Huntington. The defensive tackle, Shelby Harris with a 76.8 and 40. He actually got 40 snaps. Mason Graham with a 74.5, and he's not stalwart at this point, but he's becoming more consistent. He needs better teaching on the defensive line, I do believe. Maurice Hurst, he had 8 snaps.
I didn't know he played. I mean, I didn't know some.
That's because he wasn't rubbing his belly out there. That's the
Yeah,
reason why you didn't
good
see
point.
him.
Yeah, I rubbed my belly.
Yeah. I rubbed Topaz's belly.
I
And he goes,
tell you why I was in a coma for the past 4 hours.
why?
Because we had ordered Popeye's chicken from here, so I had the deluxe burger, 4 hot wings, a couple of the fingers or whatever, the fillets or whatever they call them, and an order of fries. So I've been
Love that chicken at Popeyes.
yeah, so I've been like chicken comatose for the past
That would explain it.
for about 4 hours.
Merry Christmas. If you live long enough to see it, eating Popeyes.
There you go.
As far as the linebackers, Schlesinger rated number 1 at a 71.5 for the Browns. Devin Bush, a 62.2. Then Mahmoud Diabate at a 49.4. Jerome Baker at a 28.8. The big surprise, the number 1 rated cornerback was Miles Harden. You know you're in trouble.
Oh God! You know what really kind of caught my eye with the Browns defense yesterday
What's
was
that?
the fact that Diabate and half the people in the linebacking secondary are all slower than Josh Allen. Josh Allen would like run right by him and go, "See ya, please, Speedy Gonzalez."
Was it wet, Wable?
Once he, oh,
There you have that. Well, thank you so much for that. That's a visual, but it's worse. The idea that she's going down on Brutus.
yeah, her legs are pretty skinny.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. She has to hold on tight.
Yeah, she didn't have any, don't have any meat on those haunches.
And as far as the offense was concerned, so you can have the numbers in front of you. Shador with a 64 rating, Judkins with a 71 for the limited amount of time, Travion Williams with a 68, Raheem Sanders with a 62.9. So that's that. But the wide receiver thing, Malachi Corley, because I kept giving him end arounds, a 69.8, Isaiah Bond a 57. He didn't really see the ball. Larvidan, who only had 5 snaps, doesn't matter. Jerry Jeudy with a 54.3 with 48 snaps. He's a bum. Got to get rid of him. Cedric Tillman also a 53 and 31 snaps.
I didn't notice him.
Yeah. He's invisible.
He will be invisible.
Can I ask, is Shirley, do they call his play still after Anthony Schwartz? Because he's got the same repertoire as Anthony Schwartz. Although he does catch the ball every now and then.
Yeah. Now, the offensive line, Tevin Jenkins with 67 snaps was the top-rated offensive lineman with a 73.6. Zach Zinter with a 63.7. Joel Batonia with 67 snaps at a 60.1. He was getting
He's
beat out
getting
there, and
old.
he's beat up.
He's old.
Cornelius Lucas only got one snap, thank God. Luke Whippler, for God's sakes, Mr. Holt, 57.3. Cam Robinson, I'm picking my nose, 51.0 and 67 snaps. But there's KT Leviston with a 48 and 67 snaps. Just consistently the worst offensively lineman, I think, in the league. I don't think there's anybody who can even compete.
Yeah, how we score points with that line is beyond me.
Yeah, me too.
Is beyond me.
So,
but what about that Steelers game? Did you see that?
That was a ripoff. I started out the program showing the second to last play that was a real touchdown where they called that bogus
interference,
like pick bogus
plays. I'll go back and watch it and then they interviewed Aaron Rodgers right afterwards. That was hilarious. That was the funniest thing.
I love it. Southeast Asia, you gotta love it.
Yeah, he's fighting in Nam. The war isn't over.
No. I mean, I think this is, to me, that's the wonderful thing about the internet is that you can be talking to somebody from so far away.
Yeah, you could be talking to people from England like they're next door, isn't it?
What are you doing in Southeast Asia? Just curious. That would be it'd be interesting to find out.
Maybe they're in Bangkok.
Yeah.
One night in Bangkok.
Yeah. And the world seems twisted. Yep. So, what else is there to talk about the Browns? There really isn't much to talk about. 2 more games left. They handed Myles Garrett a half sack that he didn't deserve.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
that was nonsense. He fell over, basically. I mean, I don't know.
Let's see what else I have for you here. Cavaliers play tonight against the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh, my God. How badly are we going to lose?
Your guess is as good as mine. The only good news on this whole thing is that Sam Merrill's likely to be back. Donovan Mitchell is likely to be back, and Craig Porter Jr. Yeah, these guys are supposed to all play. Mobley's still out. Larry Nance Jr. is permanently crippled.
Yeah.
Max Strus is just, when you're dealing with Jones fracture surgery, I'm not sure how he comes back, when he comes back. As far as the Hornets are concerned, LaMelo Ball, right wrist soreness. That's from shooting too many times.
He runs in the family, that sort of.
He shoots 30 times a game, so his wrist is sore. And Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton's doubtful, with a quadriceps strain, and so that's that. The game is in Cleveland. Will be shown on FanDuel and on Peacock if you are so interested. When I was talking about Lamar Jackson, he left the game in the second quarter, but a back injury. But all of these injuries may very well,
that's the other thing about the Lions and the Steelers is that the Lions were down to their 8th and 9th safeties. They were playing their practice squad for most of their defense. So anybody thinking that the Lions are like this juggernaut defensive team from September, no, they're playing their scrubs. They're going to get their ass kicked.
Now, is this true too? From Zimbabwe. Yeah, I mean, get that. I mean, hey, I may be more popular outside the United States than I'm reviled in the United States. So,
well, in India, you'd be sacred.
No,
you would be a sacred cow.
But he played for 2 quarters. And he only had 101 yards passing, 7 of 10 attempts, and nothing. Just a big nothing, and he's hurt. And it's everything's connected to everything else in the human body, and you start having leg injuries, then you start running wrong, and then you become more susceptible to more leg and lower back issues, and so it goes.
Well,
And
that's even so much truer in basketball with all these like calf injuries, and then suddenly your fucking Achilles goes, and you're out for a year and a half. So,
again, for the people who like to change history,
wow.
Baker Mayfield lost to the Panthers.
He did.
They're 7-8 now, so they're below 500. Burma, woo!
Burma, wow.
I love it.
Wow. They still under martial law there. I mean, they
I
have
don't
a
know.
lot of
Burma.
they have
All
a
I
lot
know
of
about
unrest.
Burma,
Myanmar.
it's Monty Python.
Yeah.
You'd have to watch the two old ladies having a philosophical conversation
Right.
about a penguin laying an egg on a television set. Look it up. I'm not going to go over it with you, but it's.
You don't have to.
But Burma does come up in the sketch. It's the only comedy sketch I've ever seen that was like that. Baker, 18 to 26 for 145 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick, going nowhere, man. They're out of it. And they were a team. This guy was ready for the MVP halfway through the season. Remember?
Oh yeah. He was. Oh, and speaking of the Zimbabwe soccer team, the big African Continental Cup is on right now, a bit like the European or World Soccer Cup. So that's why a lot of interest in football down there in Africa right now.
Rick May, you see, he gets it. I panicked. Thank you. It's great when people get a reference. There's one pasture head.
There's always Rick May.
There's Rick May who would understand the most obscure references. Burma.
Yes, the AFCON. Be safe. Yes, be safe with the AFCON.
That's funny. Oh, God Almighty. Yeah, but Baker, they're down the crapper now. So,
what do they say in Tampa about the Bays or the Rays or the Buccaneers or whatever they're called? What does Dwayne Stat think of Baker Mayfield?
Right now, I can tell you this.
That voice, it cuts through steel.
I fucking love it, man. It's great. Right now.
Baker Mayfield is a guy that we thought was the real deal, and instead, he ends up like a little pom-pom girl. I am sick and tired of this cock-sucking shit in Tampa. We don't even have a proper stadium to play baseball in.
No, you don't.
Like Topaz the Wolf says, get me out of here.
Yeah, Dwayne Stat doesn't walk out at night in case the alligators want to chew him up.
Get off my leg.
Oh. And it's a shame. I live down here in Florida half the year, and I have to listen to him. Every so often, I'll just be, going through the channels, and if I'm in Ohio,
his voice will jump out. Yeah.
No. I mean, you want to watch the Guardians, and you can't get it in Cleveland, so you find it. You find the Tampa feed, and it's like,
and welcome to Rays baseball.
And it's like, I got to turn this down. Turn the volume down. God Almighty.
Yeah, if you have it normally set on 14, you got to turn it down to 9 when Dwayne's on. So. Wow.
Oh, wow. Mingalapar.
I've not heard of that.
Wow. Neither
I've
have
heard of
I.
Mandalay. Is that the same thing as Mandalay?
I know. I mean, I have no idea. But I mean, believe me, geography is not exactly.
Well, in South Asia, a lot of the names change. They go away from the colonial British names, and they put their original name back up on there.
But this might be safe. This might be true of every quarterback. It's You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
when Patrick
Agree.
Mahomes could throw from contorted positions, so he would
He
kind
could.
of avoid pressure that way. But he had a good offensive line. When as they get older and it's less, he just gets thrown around like a rag doll, and his body is already beaten about too. Here's a headline that makes me want to vomit. Okay.
Oh, good.
Yep.
After the meal I've had, and I've just woken up and drank some Diet Coke.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm ready.
The Chiefs agree to play in a dome in the state of Kansas in 2031. Isn't that great?
They're moving out of Kansas
State,
City?
out of state. And they're going to be the second
Kansas.
team to do it because the
Wow.
Indianapolis Colts have stated for the record that they're going to move to a new stadium in Indiana. No,
Boom.
that's the
That-
Bears.
That's the Bears. They're going to move to Gary. I mean, what are they doing? Jimmy Haslam running all of these franchises now?
No, they're all pigs. They're
They
all
are
pigs, and you're giving
They
that
are
money,
pigs.
and they can go wherever the hell they want. The Chicago Bears, the home of George Halas, for God's sakes, and Mike Ditka, and you know that stadium is like, I mean, it's
Soldier
just like
Field.
Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and you know, it's like
Iconic.
iconic is right, and I
Iconic.
understand it's kind of old to this, but you know, nobody said.
You know, we're going to tear down Wrigley Field. It sucks.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And they're announcing this, that it's going to happen in 2031.
Oh God, are we all going to be alive by then? But no, Gary, Indiana is like one gigantic toxic waste dump. Like
Well, they're
Brook
not
Park,
moving it
Ohio,
into Gary, for God's sake.
but only bigger, you know.
Wyandotte County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, today's an extraordinary day in the history of the Kansas City Chiefs. The chairman and CEO, Clark Hunt, said in a
You gotta
statement.
say that
Don't say
name
that real
carefully.
fast.
Clark.
We're excited to partner with the state of Kansas to bring a world-class stadium to our
how many
fans.
times have we heard that shit?
Oh my God.
World class. Yeah, we're gonna have our world class stadium.
The Legislative Coordinating Council, which includes the state's top lawmakers, voted unanimously inside a packed room at the state capitol to allow for STAR bonds to be issued to cover up to 70% of the cost of the stadium and accompanying district.
So all those fuckers out there in Kansas State are going to end up paying for that stadium.
And get this, the bonds will be paid off with state sales and liquor tax revenues. So while you're losing your liver and dying and buying all the alcohol to support your addiction, all of your money is going for this stadium. I mean,
fucking billionaire hunts.
I know, it's just making me
Hunts.
sick to my stomach. Oh, I mean, to me, it's very difficult to fathom.
Well, the only way this can possibly change is if there's national legislation, and there'll never be the stomach for that. But American pro sports needs a congressional investigation. For the past 50 years, it's never happened.
It's sad. The whole thing is
It's
sad.
it's so amazingly corrupt.
Yeah, I feel really like, you know, thanks everybody for your time, and you know, in Illinois, and we're going to Indiana. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
I mean, fuck them. They shouldn't be allowed to be called the Chicago Bears.
Correct.
They should not be allowed to.
Oh, you know what I was thinking during the game yesterday, the old Buffalo game? They should have called that the Battle of Lake Erie. They missed the trick. Yeah. Here we are, Don Cricky in the Battle of Lake Erie.
No, could you see Dwayne Staten?
The Battle of Toxicity.
Why don't they
It's
just
the
move
Cuyahoga River versus the Love
Love
Canal.
Canal? Who's gonna die first?
They don't need any lights in these stadiums. The radioactivity lights it all up.
I've got the perfect solution for the pig owners in Cleveland and Buffalo. You know what they could do and make more money? They could build this massive, great dome stadium in Erie, Pennsylvania, and share the ground every other week. You know, they could like, and it could be the Erie Browns and the Erie Buffalo Braves or whatever.
Yeah, the whole thing is just and now John Harbaugh, he is saying that he's not worried about job security, and that's what Kevin Stefanski said. Here's his quote: "I try to do the job, not try to keep the job."
That's hilarious.
That's what any prostitute would do. You know, it's like, I'm trying to do the job. Would you hold still?
Yeah, stop falling asleep, goddammit, Tony.
I don't need to keep this job. I'm trying to finish it.
Wake up. Oh.
Yeah.
Where is everybody? There's no Tony the Calf here. That's
Well, no, I'll tell
Is
you
he
honestly,
working?
listenership is like, you know, kind of caved in here because
everyone's asleep or dead.
no, the realization, first of all, this is Christmas week.
It
Sec-
is.
and-
Happy Christmas to you.
And,
Happy
you know,
Festivus, Kwanzaa, you know.
holiday season, think of Mary Kay Cabot. Ho, ho, ho. Thank you. But yeah, so people are on vacay visiting family, and you know, this is the way it is every year. But the Browns aren't making it any more interesting for people. That's for damn sure.
No.
Oh, and there's two more stories before I get
Two
the
more
hell out of
stories.
here, and I got to get out of here because I'm running late again. Notre Dame and Brigham Young University, the top two at-large teams left out of the college football playoffs. Yep. They've agreed to a home-and-home series beginning next season. And what that means is that the Fighting Irish will no longer be playing USC for the foreseeable future. So this is what you call Catholic whoredom. It's like USC might actually be good, but a bunch of Mormons running around a football field are not likely to be that good. Notre Dame has taken the last spot, in essence, in their schedule. We know they lose a game in the beginning of the year every year, and they stack the back end. So now they've gotten rid of USC and replaced it with BYU.
Well, you know what they could do? Why don't they just schedule Tulane and James Madison? You know, then maybe that'll get them in the playoffs.
You see, the USC Notre Dame game typically takes place in October, and Notre Dame loses, and it doesn't work out so well for them after that.
No.
But now the BYU game, they're going to be putting at the end of the season, so they can just have just more sissy programs that they're playing at the end of the year.
Yeah. That's you know, I have an idea for the NCAA very quickly. Is that because of this invitational playoff system that they've got, why don't they just have a 7 or 8 game regular season and then have a bracket of 128 teams and then play the 7 games it would require for that to whittle itself down to a champion? And then that way everybody shuts the fuck up, you know, because you could have one Ohio State versus the 128th team, and then they'd end up playing the 64th team and then the 32nd team.
And did you know that the USC Notre Dame matchup has a name?
Oh, what, like the Iron Ball or the Ratchet Ball? Or,
you're not going to believe this.
I don't know what it is. Honestly.
The Battle for the Jeweled Shillelagh.
The Jeweled Shillelagh. Yeah, hit you over the head with that shit.
I thought it said the Jewish Shillelagh, and I'm packing.
Wow.
I mean, I've never heard it referred to as that before, but maybe somebody.
Wasn't there a really famous game back in like 1970 where like Notre Dame was leading like 28-0, and then USC came back by 5 touchdowns in the second half, or it was the other way around. I seem like O.J. Simpson might have even been in that game. Probably Rick May's old enough to remember that, and old enough to remember Travis Williams, who nobody else seemed to have remembered. So
Now, final story, and I'm out.
you're out. No,
Interim Michigan coach Pogge says
Pogge?
that the University of Michigan is a malfunctioning organization. Get this. Biff Pogge, what a name, Biff. Biff Pogge described the Michigan football program as a malfunctioning organization and one he hopes to fix if he has his interim head coach tag removed. Yeah, no chance of that, Biff.
Yeah, now that you badmouth the university, I don't think they're going to give you the job, mate.
I mean, listen to this. This is unbelievable. Pogge, who was interviewed with athletic director Ward Manuel for the job, told reporters that Michigan must conduct a massive examination of what's happened in this building. But it's what he's saying that is really interesting. He's not just saying recently. Here's his quote. "It's been 5 years of a malfunctioning organization," said Pogge in his third stint on the Michigan staff after working under both Moore and Harbaugh. Let's call it what it is. It's happened every year. The athletic director doesn't want any more of that.
Wow, that's bold. That's a bold
Now,
comment to say.
this is all you need to know about Pogge. He's 65 years old.
Oh, God.
I'm
Yeah,
68.
he's too old. I'm 65.
Too fucking old. All right.
Too old to do this.
But get this. This is Mr. Ethics. He worked as a hedge fund manager before entering coaching.
No. No.
God, what a prolific bullshitter this guy is.
Manager.
Spending most of his career as a high school coach in Maryland before first joining Harbaugh's staff in 2016. He returned in 2021 as associate head coach before landing his only FBS head coaching job at Charlotte, where he was fired before the end of his second season, going 6-16.
Wow.
So Pogge found his way back to Michigan this season.
Yeah.
After all of this, 65 years old and 6-16 at Charlotte, they asked him, why would you be a strong choice for the long-term job as head coach of the University of Michigan? And Pogge, without so much as blinking, said, because I know what the hell I'm doing and I want to fix this program.
Good Lord. No, he's 65 and he just wants the healthcare benefits of having a job. So there you go.
Well, thank you, Hunix Tube. I appreciate
Tube.
all the people who view the program.
We love you. We love you.
I love you. I love you, Cleveland. And Andrew Berry will pick his nose. I have no idea.
Oh, it's gonna be the Haslam Sports Group on the interview committee. The Jimmy's son-in-law.
I don't even know who Jimmy's son-in-law
Oh,
is.
the Jerry Johnson or whatever his
He's
name is.
illegitimate, whoever he
Yeah.
is. So that's all I have for you today, folks. And I guess it was plenty enough. We will be back again on Friday. We'll be examining what's coming up next for the Browns. And I'm going to be watching the Cavalier game at 7 o'clock. So I got to hop out of here and get myself into a shower, out of a shower, cook my dinner. Oh, to do da day.
Oh, because you need a shower after this program, don't you?
I do, because I'm filthy,
Yeah.
aren't I?
Yeah.
I am just filthy.
How is Topaz the Wolf doing? Is he all right?
Oh,
he
yeah,
there?
he's doing fine. He's resting in another room. He's not interested in the bullshit I spew on here. He's a dog, or he'd say,
He's
I'm a dog. I'm a dog. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back again on Friday, I promise. Until
Maybe.
then,
I might be, I might not be. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do
if you're awake.
if I'm awake.
Until next time, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Bye.